All right, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're gonna do a really short, quick live stream today. I'm starting a couple minutes early. I'm tweeting out. I'm like right on top of it tonight. I got the tweet all prepped. It's sent out. I'm just completely on top of things. So the tweet is out, and I have no idea. What did I even title this stream? Is quarantine coming to an end? So we do have some good news coming out of California for the first time in a long time. Gavin Newsom apparently has felt the heat from the Silicon Valley folks. They've gotten in touch with him and they've said they're not happy. And so Gavin Newsom says that some businesses will be allowed to reopen on Friday. I don't think that includes LA County. They were supposed to still be on lockdown until the following Friday. So we'll see if that pans out for the rest of the state. I'm also hearing that a county neighboring mine has 30 businesses that are going to be submitting a lawsuit against I think it's like the state health officer and Gavin Newsom's stay-at-home order. And if they do not cease and desist the stay-at-home order, the lawsuit will be requesting damages paid to them for loss of time and loss of business opportunities due to them being shut down. So those are my little bits, my little tidbits of news for you. As I said, this is going to be a really short stream tonight. I have a Skype meeting at 7 Pacific, so I have to get off of here pretty quick to set that up. But please feel free to comment in the comment section. We're not going to be going on Periscope today just because I've got other things that I have to get done. I have my silly little checklist. I'm checking things off that I had to get done before this Skype session right before. But comment to me what books you guys have been reading, because I've been making, ever since this quarantine started and I've had a lot of time to do stuff like that, I've been reading a lot of books. And I read Pride and Prejudice for the first time. I talked about that in a previous episode of one of my shows. I am rereading the Chronicles of Narnia for the first time since I was, 11 or 12 years old. So that's been kind of eye-opening. And I'm rereading A Wrinkle in Time, I think, for the third time in my life. I know I read it the first time as a teenager, as I was like 13, I think it was in 8th grade. And then I read it again later on, maybe my earlier 20s, late teens, I'm not sure about when. And then I got the book for Christmas a couple of years ago and never had the chance to read it. So now I finally have had the chance to do a lot of reading. I'm rereading it, and I just got to recommend that people reread children's books as adults, because there's so many messages that I didn't pick up on as a kid, or even as a late teen, early 20-year-old, that I'm now picking up on as like an adult. I'm going to be 29. I'm almost 30. So that's not to say that I'm super old. It's just to say that I've had some life experience finally. And I'm sure in 20 years, I'll look back and I'll be like, you had no life experience, you loser. But that's kind of how I feel about myself 10, 20 years ago. I did not know anything. And so it's interesting, the messaging in A Wrinkle in Time book that I never picked up on, even though I thought that I knew what the messaging was supposed to be back in the day. Now it's just kind of like water balloon in your face kind of, what? That was in there? What? No way. So I've got a funny video. I'm actually uploading it right now. It's one of the things I'm doing while I'm in the vicinity of decent internet. I've got a funny video coming up for you guys on Saturday. It will be reviewing the most controversial Arthur episodes. And so we picked out 3 that 2 of them have been banned. One of them I think still airs. But those, Arthur was supposed to be that kids show that was supposed to be safe for the whole family. And then there's some episodes where the producers were like, you know what, it's our responsibility to parent your kids. And so you can kind of tell that was kind of the attitude that they were trying to come across with. And maybe they weren't. Maybe they were just like, you know what, this will help spark discussions with parents and their kids about these important issues. Maybe this will do that. And maybe, yeah. So that's what you have to look forward to on Saturday. I brought my sister back to talk about it because she has a lot of things to say about these subjects. And oh my gosh, we broke down laughing halfway through the episode. So you guys are really going to enjoy that one. I do apologize in advance for my choppy editing skills, but I'm getting better. I'm starting to get better, I think, compared to where I was when I started, certainly. Kind of like me in Photoshop. A month ago, I did not know what I was doing. Now I'm like, oh, why was this even hard? I think, and you guys can comment to me if you've ever felt like this, but I often feel like I get intimidated by something new and something that, if I can't learn it on my own without somebody helping me, then I don't want to do it. And Photoshop was one of those things where I learned like as far as I could go without help. And then I just actually just needed to break down and watch a tutorial, or like a more in-depth tutorial than just typing in what I wanted to do, because sometimes you know what you want to do, but you don't know how to formulate, is formulate the word? You don't know how to express what you wanted to do in terms that the internet is going to understand and respond with the correct answer that your search is inquiring about. So I finally feel like I have some mastery of Photoshop that I can at least put beginner on a resume now. You guys probably noticed my thumbnails are kind of the biggest experiment that I've been doing, just trying out different thumbnails, seeing which ones get the clicks, because that's what this whole YouTube thing is about, I guess. So I noticed nobody's really commenting in the chat, so there's not going to be a whole lot of interaction this episode. Let's see what's going on over on Twitter. Boy, nobody, it is dead today. There's a cop driving past, getting his Starbucks, bless his heart. Let's see. Not a whole lot to talk about. Oh, somebody's commenting. The shutdown isn't ending anytime soon in Illinois, apparently. I feel for you guys. It is really tough being in these blue states and not having really any recourse. My dad was just bringing up the fact that the lady who was arrested in Dallas for opening up her salon and refusing to shut it down, she was immediately let out because the governor stepped in. And in states like Texas, that's great. You have somebody who's kind of your advocate when these local and state level administrators get out of hand and are not being reasonable. But in California, we don't have anything. There is nobody that's going to come and help you. So here's a question I want to put to the audience. At what point are you guys willing to go to jail to protect your rights and to protect your livelihood and your income? Because that's kind of the point that we're all at now. And there were those of us who were suggesting in the beginning that this is where the quarantine and the shutdown would lead, and there was plenty of people that said, you're just fear mongering, it will never, you just don't care enough about people, you're not willing to shut down, you're just you're a fear monger. And then we're here on the other side you're kind of fear-mongering on this virus, too. No, how dare you? How dare you suggest that we are fear-mongering? You're the fear-mongers because you're saying that they're going to take our rights away if we don't shut things down and blah, blah, blah. It's just frustrating to me that the things that we said would happen are happening, yet there's not a lot of people saying that. None of the people that suggested to me that first of all, that just having a 2-week quarantine would make everything go back to normal after that, or that said that we have to have the shutdown, that none of my concerns about the overreach of civil liberties and all of that, none of my concerns were valid. Nothing of that mattered. None of those people have come back to me now and have said, oh, Kelly, we made a huge error in judgment. We were wrong. I'm sorry for making you feel bad over this. Nobody has come back to me and said that they were wrong. Not one person has come back to me. And I think that that's really disappointing, that people aren't even willing to recognize that they helped aid this really disastrous process happen. They helped encourage it by suggesting that we had to take this action in order to save people's lives, because now we're just destroying more and more and more people's lives, not necessarily with the virus, but we're destroying people's lives financially, emotionally, somebody, I think it was on a Periscope stream I interviewed, was reminding us that, when there are abusive parents involved in a situation and they're not able to go to work and spend time away from the kids, and you're just forcing them into the home, that situation is going to escalate. That's not to say that this quarantine is meant to encourage that behavior, but there are all kinds of unintended consequences that nobody seems to be talking about. Nobody is talking about the suicide rates skyrocketing. Nobody is really acknowledging the fact that, hey, record unemployment that rivals the Great Depression, that's a bad thing. That is a bad thing. Why aren't people talking about this? Most people are talking, oh, no, we can't. We have to stay in our houses and hide. We can't go outside. We might get germs. We might get cooties. Oh my gosh, what do we do? Oh, so let's see. Somebody says if they're going to make going to mass illegal, you bet I'd be willing to go to jail. Yeah, if they're not allowing you to go to your church or practice your religion, regardless of your religion at this point. Well, this isn't even a church versus, I have a hard time believing that they're actually keeping the mosques shut down. This is during Ramadan. Have we heard anything about mosques being shut down? I would be very curious to find out if they're just letting the mosques slide because they know that the Muslims are not going to stand for that. And Christians ought not to stand for it either. It's your right to practice religion in the Constitution. There are no exceptions. There are no exceptions. And I know people are like, but, no, buts. Get the butt out of here. No buts. Your right to freedom of religion is the number one right listed in the Bill of Rights. They can't take that away from you unless you let them. And that's what people are doing. And I think it's going to come to a head because more and more people are bucking the system. More and more people are saying, we're not doing this. We are going to open our businesses. We're going to go to church. More and more churches I'm seeing are opening their doors, or at least doing drive-in church, which I think is fine, but it's not going to last through the summer because people are not going to want to sit in their hot cars in the summer. So again, this time of year, it's going to force everything to come to a head. People are going to have to make a decision, and it'll be interesting to see what decisions people end up making in the long run. So I have a Skype call at 7 that I got to prep for, so I've got to wrap this up. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. We actually did have a little bit of interaction in the comments, so I do appreciate that. If you enjoyed this live stream, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell to get those notifications, and I will see you guys on the next episode.